Hey everybody, it's Party Elite with another online battle here. After the last one, some of you wanted to see me play as the Dwarfs, and so I thought I'd give it a go. By an act of fate, I was pitted against Bretonnia in one of the games, and I figured that would make for the perfect showcase. So, onwards to army composition. I brought in Ungrim Iron Fist in charge alongside a Runesmith, 4 units of Longbeards, 2 units of Slayers, 2 units of Quarrelers, a unit of Gyrocopters, a unit of Cannons, a unit of Organ Guns, and a Gyro Bomber. Meanwhile, Bretonnia brought in a Lord, 3 units of Spearmen at Arms, a unit of Men at Arms, 3 units of Peasant Bowmen, a unit of Mounted Yeomen, 2 units of Knights of the Realm, 2 units of Mounted Yeomen Archers, 2 units of Pegasus Knights, and 2 units of Field Trebuchet. You'll notice one of the Spearmen at Arms is ranked up to rank 2, and then the other 2 are ranked up to rank 1 each. The Men at Arms with Pole Arms are ranked up to rank 1, and one of the Peasant Bowmen units is ranked up to rank 1 as well. The Mounted Yeomen are ranked up to rank 1, and one of the Knights of the Realms are ranked up to rank 5. Then we've got a Pegasus Knight at rank 1, and a Pegasus Knight at rank 2, and the 2 Field Trebuchets at rank 1 each. So, very heavily ranked up army to showcase on the field here, and let's see how it goes down. So, right off the bat, I do have the high ground, which is pretty advantageous, of course, but with flying units, that can be quickly stripped away, that advantage, so it is helpful. It does give me more range and just a better, sort of starting point because you'll have to go uphill to engage. But again, using cavalry and flying units properly, this advantage can quickly be stripped away. Now, right from the get-go, I opened fire with both my artillery units to his into his high-value units. Bit of a misclick here. I didn't mean to fire into these mounted yeoman archers, but it's okay. I guess they take a little bit of morale damage before they engage. As soon as I notice that's happening, I retarget into these Pegasus Knights, and meanwhile my cannons on the other side are firing into these Pegasus Knights. They don't do too much damage against them, but I keep at it, hoping to just get some damage in, morale or physical, before they're able to swoop in and start causing some serious damage. Now, I notice right away these Pegasus Knights are following my Gyrocopter, so I start to pull them back, and I send my Quarrelers in to open fire. And I figured that somewhere around here he would actually pull back, except he really doesn't. He keeps following right through. So I have to start micromanaging my Gyrocopters and try to pull them away, all the while opening fire. Then I notice these Pegasus Knights are coming in, so these Slayers that I've tucked away behind my artillery pieces, I actually pull these guys up to engage, and at the same time I have my Runesmith drop the Rune of Oath and Steel, just to give these Longbeards a better chance of holding fast while these Slayers fly in, or run in, I should say. Meanwhile, the Gyrocopter is still trying to evade this Pegasus Knight push here, opening fire with my Quarrelers, doing what I can to hold them at bay, but they just keep chasing down. So that was an interesting choice, just to shut them down early. Meanwhile, I'm sending these Gyro Bombers over just to try and shut down these Mounted Yeoman Archers, because they are firing into my troops. Not doing too much because I do have shielded Longbeards. They're not carrying great weapons, so they're not able to do too much damage, but still, they are a nuisance, so I go in and I drop a little bomb, hoping to do more damage than it actually does. I realize they're not that densely packed, so it's not going to do too much work, so I just pull that Gyro Bomber back. Meanwhile, over here in the front, you'll see that the Pegasus Knights are very quickly falling apart. These Slayers took almost no damage, the Longbeards took a little bit from that initial charge, but of course the Runesmith helped buff them, and very quickly the Pegasus Knights are taken care of. So, again, the Slayer placement was very helpful there, putting them close so that they could run in when that charge happened. And I forgot to put them on guard mode, so they gave some chase, and then as soon as I noticed, I pulled them back, and with a Mounted Yeoman nearby, it was so tempting, I decided to run right in. Now, Quarreler fire is definitely helping reduce their morale quickly, and at the same time I've got my artillery firing at these other Mounted Yeoman Archers and their Spearmen, etc., just trying to cause overall damage. But you'll see how quickly these Mounted Yeomen just give up. These Slayers took a little bit of damage this time because these Archers were firing in, but took care of that Mounted Yeoman unit like it was nothing. And then it was time to pull them back, of course. I don't want to leave them out there, there's no reason to. So I pull them back into position. Again, keeping my Slayers in a position where they can quickly respond to incoming cavalry attacks. That's the idea with the placement here. Now, again, just opening fire with these organ guns now on these men-at-arms with pole arms, trying to keep them at bay, trying to cause as much damage as I can before they come too close to my front lines. And you'll notice, actually, those Pegasus Knights, they chased my Gyrocopters right off the field, and I guess they were all forgotten about, so don't do that. Keep an eye on your units. Meanwhile, these Knights of the Realm decide to charge in. I respond with my Slayers. I notice them coming in, so I respond right away. So that engagement does some damage to start off with, but my Slayers are going to hold them back. Meanwhile, these two units of Spearmen are trying to make their way up the hill to engage, and this is how you use a Gyro Bomber to prevent that. So I dropped a bomb, pulled back, turn around, drop another bomb, that's number 2, then pull back, turn around again, drop bomb number 3, and pull back one more time, bomb number 4, and that's that. Both of these units, before they could get anywhere up the hill, anywhere near my front lines, have been frightened off. I dropped one more for good measure, could have saved that for later, to be honest, and then I pull my Gyro Bomber back again, because, again, no reason to keep him out there. So there you have it. Those two units could have done, they could have engaged my front lines, freeing up cavalry to come in from the sides, etc. But with this Gyro Bomber, yes, it's a lot of micromanagement. Yes, it takes your attention away, but you can see how much work they did. These two units were completely useless. And on the topic of useless units, this unit of Knights of the Realm ranked up to rank 5. A lot of money spent on this unit. Too much time just ambling there under artillery fire. I guess he was busy kind of managing that engagement that just fell apart. And these guys just taking bolts from my Quarrelers, the organ guns opening fire, and they're not able to do anything before they completely surrender. So, again, it would have been much smarter had they been sort of pulled through this forest or something to come in from the rear, but I was expecting something like that, and that's why I have this unit of Slayers back here still, ready for that kind of a maneuver. So overall, even if he tried that, there wouldn't be a chance of actually penetrating my, I wouldn't call this a box, but my defensive sort of lineup. Now, as these units are all falling apart, I do want to just pick off at the remaining units that have some health left to them. So, for example, these Spearmen, they do have full health and morale, or at least they did not 5 seconds ago. I opened fire with the organ guns and, quickly just damaged them as well. Meanwhile, the cannons are still opening fire at these guys because they stopped retreating and I want them off the field. Really, the only unit that's threatening me right now are the trebuchets, and I don't care too much for them because if I do enough damage here, if I scare enough of these guys off, then the trebuchets are, well, they're going to run off as well. It's just going to be GG at that point. So just to seal the deal here, I bring the Gyro Bomber in, and again, one last bomb drop. Beautiful morale damage. These guys give right up. These guys see that happen. They were near the attack, so their morale drops as well. Don't think they break, but if I dropped a second bomb, I might have been out of ammo at this point, but if I dropped a second bomb, that would have done the trick. That would have been over. And at this point, really, it was in the bag. It was in the bag a while ago, actually, this victory. But that Slayer placement was very helpful, preventing those cavalry pushes, those 2 waves of cavalry pushes, using the Gyro Bomber, going in and spending the time to micromanage and prevent that infantry rush that was happening. Extremely helpful, because otherwise it could have engaged my troops in a way and overwhelmed me. So again, just using these units in a way to fight them off in waves, and pair them off in ways that allows them to work together defensively. He does GG before I completely wipe him out, which is fair. It's good manners, I guess. But again, it was a total victory because I was able to hold him off. He did come at me in waves, which wasn't a good decision. He should have pushed more aggressively at the same time. If he was trying to pick off my artillery and my gyrocopters separately, which, yes, I do recommend, again, if you haven't seen the video already, defeat in detail is a tactic you can use to win these sorts of engagements. But I was responding with a different sort of positioning, where, again, no matter which way he'd come in for those weaker units, I was closely packed, I was very well supported. The Slayers went to town anytime cavalry came in. One unit of Slayers was just relaxing in the back, expecting a flanking maneuver to come out of those woods on the side there. And meanwhile, the organ guns and the cannons, again, just having a good time, opening fire at this field of enemies that don't know how to approach such a closely, densely packed defensive formation where all of these troops can support each other within a moment's notice. So that's really, I think, what helped win the day. Yes, it definitely helped that he didn't rush all of his troops up all at once. That would have caused some panic, and at that point, it becomes a management issue. If I become overwhelmed, he could have thrown me off my game. But, even then, I had so many units spare in reserve, ready to respond to any kind of aggression. It's just a matter of micromanagement at that point. So hopefully this battle actually gives you some insight on how you can position slayers and artillery near each other, how you can position your quarrelers as well, or your thunderers if you choose to go that route, and the value of a gyro bomber, especially against units with low morale. Those couple of bomb drops, yes, took my attention away, but not only do they look gorgeous, they also are super efficient. Not once was there a melee engagement. There was that one or the 2 cavalry attacks, but apart from that, his infantry never made it up the hill. Nothing made it up the hill apart from those 2 units of cavalry. So again, hopefully this was an informative watch, and apart from that, for more Total War content, make sure you subscribe to this channel. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.